testimony time, and we have a live one. Mike's going to come up and give a live testimony. So normally we do testimonies on healing, but this one's a little bit different. It's more about, I guess, obedience, or so just tell us a little bit about it and what happened and how God played in it.
Certainly. So Day of the Dead, we just had Dia de los Difuntos. If you're in Ecuador, I was a missionary in Ecuador as a doctor, and I got to meet Martha. Wow. Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. If you lead, Lord, I will follow. Those are some of the lessons I learned from Martha. How many of you heard Christ in your life speak to you and actually listened? Yes, a lot of hands out there. So this is a story for encouragement for those of you that say, well, I might be a wallflower. I might be a little bit timid. So I've asked the staff to put up a picture of Martha, and we'll get that in a moment. So I went to Ecuador with our family, and I was called to this clinic in Pifo. Quito is the capital of Ecuador. Ecuador goes from the coast to the Andes at 20,000 feet and down to the Amazon. Pifo is at the end of a plateau at 9,000 feet before it drops off into the Amazon. And I walked into this clinic, and I met the nurse and the receptionist and the doctor and the dentist. And then there was Martha, and Martha was sitting on the couch, and
She's sideways.
she was taking a nap. And she says, I'm Martha, I'm the social worker. I guess that's what I am, I don't know. So for every Tuesday for several months, I got to meet Martha and hear her story a little bit more. So she was born in the 1930s. After World War II, she went to nursing school. And in her words, she was like, I'm a wallflower. I'm so scared. I'm so intimidated. I can't answer questions. The doctor asks me things and I just freeze up. I have no backbone. I'm so weak. I'm just so scared. And then she listened to the radio. And the radio said, we need nurses in Ecuador. And she's like, what? What's in Ecuador? Where is this place? She listened. And she went. And the mission from Quito sent her to Pifo. The end of the bus. You then had to get on a horse. And then you go to this clinic. And she's there in the middle of nowhere before it drops off into the Amazon, working with the doc. You know, nurses back in the 30s and 40s, they knew how to fold bed sheets. They're not exactly high-powered nurses like they are now. But she learned. After 6 months, the doctor said, I can't take it anymore. I'm out of here. And Martha says, what do I do? She says, I don't know, figure it out. Well, she had seen some wound care, so she started doing wound care. And then maybe some suturing. If you lead, Lord, I will follow. She started delivering babies. She started delivering babies, hundreds of babies. And some of them died. But she said, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. I'm going to do CPR. And the little babies, it's like with your thumbs, boom, 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 boom. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm so tired. And at 20 minutes, God saved the baby. Again and again. Hundreds of babies. None of them died. She had a teenager come in for prenatal care. She had twins. And this mom's like, in our culture, we can't have twins. If I have a boy and a girl, my boyfriend, my husband, my whatever his relationship was, he will say, nurse the boy and let the girl die. That's just what you do. If you're poverty, if you barely have enough sustenance on your own, you can't nurse. You don't produce enough breast milk for 2 babies. And sure enough, she had her son and she had her daughter. What am I going to do with this girl? My husband will kill him. Here, Martha. Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Martha now was a mother. Martha was now teaching religious ed. She was still a nurse. She was still the doctor. She's now a mother. She's teaching religious ed. She's raising her daughter bilingual, and now at age 5, well, she should probably go to kindergarten, but there's no teacher. So maybe I'll homeschool her, but if I'm going to homeschool her bilingual, I'm going to teach the rest of the community. And when I walked into that clinic, there's a gorgeous K through 12 school. Martha said, maybe I'll be a teacher. Speak, Lord, your servant is listening. If you lead, I will follow. And she adopted over 30 kids. Many of them went to college in the United States because she was an American. They would fund her back in this. Martha, she's holding up guagua pan, which is the little bread from Ecuador that we have on Dia de los Difuntos. And you can't see the calamarada, the blood of Christ, so this is a classic feast. Look at my humble servant, who was such a wallflower in nursing school, I can't even answer the doctor's questions. God bless Martha. God bless her example for me so that I could have the courage to be up here sharing the story of someone who said, yes, Lord, I don't know where Ecuador is, but I'm going to go. And I'm going to be a mom, and I'm going to do all these things. Thank you.
Thank you. So, you know, when the Lord's calling you, just step out of that boat. And you never know what's going to happen if you follow. You might, you know, just even open up somebody's heart for healing in one way or another, or whatever it may be. You know, just even saying something to somebody, even giving somebody a smile, that could just change their entire life, because they might have just been so depressed, and just that smile could have just, you know, did something for them. So as you're going through the day, through the evening, if there's anything that you need prayer for, just open up your hearts. If there's, you know, people that you know that need prayer, just bring that into your prayer as people are praying over you, and just expect the unexpected, because with God, anything is possible.